Ladies and gentlemen, K-pop industry is already become a trend in worldwide. In K-pop industry, we all can see that the talents are all beauty and handsome. By joining those trends, all the K-pop fans are being influenced about the beauty and handsome standard that the industry make. Like girls are beautiful if they have thin body, white skin, colored hair, etc. Boys is handsome if they have a white skin, red lip, etc. But those standards are all wrong because beauty and handsome are relative, ladies and gentlemen. Women shouldn't fit to every beauty standard, even the high beauty standard that K-pop made. That's why feminist movement should aggressively protect women from those kind of beauty standard and give women knowledge to have a self-acceptance because self-acceptance are really important. This K-pop industry already forced women indirectly to fit certain beauty standard, and this will create a big discrimination, ladies and gentlemen. And this will give a lot of pressure to women. Just like if they want to apply to some kind of industry, to K-pop industry for example, and they are not fit the beauty standard that K-pop industry made. They are willing to do anything, even harming themselves, putting themselves in danger just to fulfill those standards, ladies and gentlemen. That's why feminist movement should protect their community from those kind of harm. Like opening opposition said that we don't have to put all the blame to K-pop industry because there are a lot of industry that exists in this world, and they also can create the beauty standard as well as K-pop industry already made. But K-pop industry is one of the biggest industry in this world, ladies and gentlemen. They can influence a lot of people. Yes, Western Indian and etc. also have their beauty standard, their own beauty standard, but their effect are not as big as K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. Opening opposition also said that people already have their own beauty standard, but what is actually happening in status quo is that they also can be influenced by K-pop standard and can easily change their standard. Before they've been influenced by K-pop standard, they are grateful, ladies and gentlemen. But after that, they want to change their chubby chick, for example, just because they saw the Korean industry girl are beautiful without chubby chicks. They said feminists should show us diversity, but the diversity already exists in this world, ladies and gentlemen. But the K-pop industry distract the diversity itself by having, for example, black or brown skin is not okay because all of Korean industry have a white skin, ladies and gentlemen, and that is not a diversity. That's why feminists should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start my speech at 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that feminism has no standard of beauty, makeup, and so on, because feminism is what inside your soul and not by the standard of K-pop. K-pop is now a trend, and we believe that now our perspective, especially as a feminist based on the K-pop, so you should must thin enough, white, and beautiful enough to be a feminine. Now, I'm going to point out some problems stated by the OG. Like, if you support this K-pop industry, we as the woman will feel insecure because we don't fit as the standard of the feminism in K-pop industry. And also, this creates the standard of corporation to select the employee based on their beauty standard, not based on their competence, and so on and so forth. Now, why this is problematic? Because within this K-pop industry, you will find that feminism should be like K-pop actress and so on, and we couldn't accept this perspective as we're not going to define the beauty like that, right? And OO said that we have various beauty standards from K-pop and also the diversity that comes from other. Yes, we agree with that, but we don't agree that K-pop is the standard of beauty, even if there are so many K-pop standards out there. We know that we are definitely different from each other, and this K-pop in this industry just ruin our difference and trying to abolish the differentiation among us. And OO also said that the K-pop industry have a lot of talents there, and they're not only setting the beauty standard, and they're performing a lot of talents, and they think that we don't need to aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. But we think that the K-pop industry in the status quo right now is setting the beauty standard in Indonesia. There are so many individuals out there who think that their K-pop idols were like an angel, and they even imitate their fashion, their makeup, beauty, and so on. There is also a case of suicide just because we as a woman suppose ourselves as not beautiful as the K-pop idol within the standard of this K-pop. And I'm going to emphasize some point that the status quo now is where we as the feminine need self-actualization and achievements. But now within this standard of K-pop, we don't want the feminine just to think that being as beautiful as K-pop idols, they will fulfill themselves as beautiful as K-pop idol. And the agenda of aggressively oppose the K-pop industry is a very long way to implement and need a lot of effort and movement aggressively oppose this K-pop. It is very important for us to to do this, because if we don't oppose this right now, when we should start it? Because right now the status quo is very aggressively set the standard of the beauty in every teenagers, even in Indonesia. Now, I'm going to give you an instance of how bad the status quo right now in terms of the K-pop idols. Several days or several weeks ago, there's a trend of BTS meal in MCD, and look, ladies and gentlemen, how crazy the situation there just because of the BTS idol. And this supports our arguments about how K-pop idol has such great influence, and of course, the great influence in beauty also. We, as the government, also don't want to abolish the beauty standard, but we want to oppose the K-pop industry because the K-pop industry now is ruining our mindset, ruining our difference that we ourselves cannot accept ourselves because we are different from the K-pop standard. CEO said that the beauty standard coming from the society, not from the K-pop industry. But now, the status quo is that we are the society creating the beauty standard from the K-pop industry itself. So actually, the K-pop is the one to blame, because if we don't have K-pop industry, the society will not create the beauty standard from the K-pop in the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. And about CEO saying that our stance is not clear, we believe that our stance is very clear, because our goal is we want to erase the beauty standard coming from the K-pop idols, like you have to be white, you have to be thin, and you have to be good looking enough. Our stance is very clear by looking at this perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just think if you are in a position as an insecure lady because you're not fit in the beauty standard coming from the K-pop. As a lady, we know that you would fulfill yourself as the beauty standard, and indirectly cost you a lot of money to put on makeup, and even the worst scenario is to do a plastic surgery just because you want to be like a K-pop idols. And we think that it is very problematic and can be worsen the situation, especially in this situation, where there are many bullying and discrimination out there happening in the status quo right now. Of course, we don't want this to happen, right? My first speaker already told you how problematic is this K-pop industry in setting the beauty standard. And we want to protect the woman. We want to give them a feeling of beautiful that comes from within their soul, not from the K-pop standard. But the problem is that now women indirectly are forced to fit in the beauty standard, while the feminist movement should protect the women, but because of this K-pop, we can reach the goal. And what we want to emphasize is we just would like to oppose the K-pop industry. It doesn't mean that we want to abolish the beauty standard, because what we want is the beauty standard that comes from within, not comes from the idol. And we believe that beauty comes from inside, not comes from the outside. Therefore, we are very proud to propose.